to today. We are going to be working on this today. Now, we're not going to actually be working on using this. We're not going to use this sewing machine today, but we're going to be working on the desk a little bit. This portion in particular. This is a sewing desk, which was, this one is from the 1960s, more than likely, maybe a little later. I haven't really researched it, but it's been in the family for a very long time, and I am now the custodian of it. So I have used this in the past, not the recent past, but in the past. But that's not the idea for today. Today is going to be a little different. So okay, and so right now I've got it down inside the desk, and I'm going to be doing something with it, with that top piece. I'll show you in a moment. It's going to involve this sanding block that I happen to get from a local dollar store. These are $1, so I've got that. And then I need to use this Rust-Oleum American Accents paint. This is stone. It's a brown stone, which happens to match the color shade of the sewing desk. And I've got this Minwax Helmsman spar urethane. It's a spray that's going to be used on it, and it's going to be used on this. As you can see, this side is, it's got a wood grain veneer of sorts on it, all through here and all in there. I'm preserving that. I'm not going to touch that because that's in good shape. The area that I'm doing is on the actual top, this top here. Now, I've done it before, so it's got it on here, and you'll see it when we've got it out. I have to actually disassemble this from the desk. There's a couple of screws here, and also there's a little spring-loaded button thing right here, where there's an arm right here on the side, right over here, so that when you open it, this little button comes undone, and it releases that, and it pops it out, and it will actually hold it in place, so that you can have, fabric, clothing, things of that sort sitting here. So I have to take that off, and this is where the sanding block comes into place, because I've already done a coating on here, but there was a little bit of, when I went to bring it back in, I hit the corner, and of course it messed it up. So I'm going to sand this down a little bit so that we get a flat surface, and then I can do another coating on here. And the only reason why doing another coating on here, you'll see why, but it's got some wear and stuff like that that wasn't intended originally. And that's where the spar urethane comes in. I didn't do a very thick coating on this, so it's still very textured. So I'm going to do a heavy coating on it. Hopefully it's going to be heavy enough to give it a smooth surface like it should have. So we're going to do that. So you can see in the corner, I've got it already sanded, so now all I have to do is paint it. Now, I was going to just do painting in that corner. However, shortly after I got started, I'm like, why don't we just put an entire coating on it? So now I can go ahead and put on the spar urethane, and I'm doing it using a spray, and I used this same stuff before, but what I didn't do is what I'm doing right here, and that is going over multiple times with multiple passes to really give it a really strong coat. And I essentially ended up emptying the entire can to get everything on there. And I went around the edges again to make sure everything was all right there. And we are pretty much finished with that. And this is actually going to look out a lot better and drying in the sun. Well, that's essentially it. I shot it with the paint. I shot it with the clear. It's all dry for the most part, but I'm going to let it sit out overnight to let it cure. Now that that's done, take a look at it. Here it is right here, and it's been completed. So now we have to reattach it to the desk. Okay, so we've got the hinges. Here's one, here's the other. This has a release button so that when it's up like this, it releases a guide arm here that holds this so that when it's open, you know, it's something to rest, to kind of become a little bit of a table. So we're going to utilize that partly to kind of guide us on getting this reconnected. So, got a thing here with all the goodies. There's a spring that has to go in here, and the actual nub that pushes down on the other side, that will go right there. And that flips over onto, and of course I screw up. So let's try this again. Get you like that. Get you in place. Up and over. And then I'm holding the end of this. And now I screw one of these in a little bit. Just to kind of get it on there. And then I do the same thing to this other side. Kind of get it on there a little bit. And tighten it up. And do the same on the other side. So there, it's reattached, but there's two other screws on each hinge that I need to attach. So let's put them all in. So there's that. Now I'll tighten it down. And we have an issue with darkness in this living room, so I've actually turned on a lamp that's over there to give a little bit of light over here so that it's not so dark. And I'm talking louder because I don't have my body mic on. And I have no idea where the microphone on the camera is, so I'm just throwing it out there. And there we go. Completely reattached. And there we go. Close the arm, it's all closed, and when it's lifted open, it releases, and there it is. And for blemishes, you can see one right here. You can see it goes right through this veneer, right down to the particle board. What's useful for this stuff is this shade of brown is actually matched with this Sharpie. So, you can just basically just color it in. It's not perfect, but it happens to match it as far as the shade goes. And I got this idea from an old coffee table that actually sent a black marker, permanent marker, not a Sharpie, to do the same thing. So I'm like, why don't we just carry it over? So there we go. And I will lift this up, and you can see it a little better. There you go. There's a little something there, little schmeckers. And it's on. And there's the sewing machine. Like I mentioned before, it's a Singer 410. And we close the lid like so. And you can see the top. Here's that arm. Close that in place. And we back up. There's that lamp. And there's the sewing desk complete. It's all completed. And it's got that fresh coat, fresh poly, using that stone paint. Really fortunate that the colors actually matched. So that unit is done. And one last thing that we've got, so we'll just clear it all off. Got some schmeckers here. Make sure it's all cleared off. And you've seen this before. This essentially goes right there. And I've got this neat little mat. It's a reversible mat. And they got these ships and stuff like that. So we put that like that. And then I have a little trinket basket. And there we go. Complete. So there's everything for you. And just as a quick little side mention of sorts, right over here is of course my computer station. Over here we've got a dedicated Windows machine. It's kind of a gaming machine, although I really don't game. I do have a few on there, but I don't use them really. But primarily this is for folding at home. Links down below. Got my main computer, which runs Linux Mint, so that's important. And up there is my latest one, right up here. This one is it used to be a Chromebook, and I've converted it into a Linux Mint machine. I took everything Google related and did some stuff. I've got a full explanation over on PixelFed, so there's a link down below for that. So there you go. So that's everything. That is, for lack of better term, SEWQuest. But yeah, there was no sewing done on it. I don't sew. I know somewhat how to use that machine very basically, but I don't use it. But I did grow up with it, and so. But I'm the custodian of that unit now, and it's cool to have. And coming down the pike, we have a lamp that I'm going to functionally restore. I'm not gonna like restore it, although I don't know, I might. There's really not much to it. I mean, it's kind of brassish, and it's I just thought of it last night, and it needs some wiring, so I have to get some wire for it, and it'll be fun. I need to try to find an LED light for it that will fit it, and I hope I can find one. I think they do make them in that shape. It's interesting, but I'll be having that one come out at some point in the future, and it's really funny because the motivation to make this channel is sitting in a box in my bedroom, which is actually in a closet, which is on the other side of that wall, surprisingly. And I began doing some functional restoration work on it. It can be used as a telephone. I'm not going to really talk about it right here, but let's see if I can get turned so the light is coming in. So, but I might still complete it, and I'll talk more about it on that video. I actually started taking video of it, but you know, these videos are really just a hobby, just something to do. You know, it's like you get so many people out there that, you know, it's their livelihood. Well, it's not so much my livelihood. It's just something fun to do on occasion. So I thank you very much for subscribing. So you can do that right down here, and I appreciate any donations if you happen to have any to give. You can go right over here to that there. Also down below is the address for Monero Crypto. And I hope that you join me again in the future. And I will have more when soon. I talk like a game dev. When they say the word soon, soon is anywhere from a couple of days to, I don't know, upwards of a year sometimes, although I don't work like that. Soon is soon. Could be a couple of weeks, could be a couple of days. Soon. So, I'm glad I got this machine done. That was a lot of fun. Can I use it for anything? No, probably not. So it's my dedicated webcam for North Conway here in New Hampshire. I like having it on. I like seeing what's going on up there. So, and whenever it happens to go offline, I let the folks know through BirdSite. BirdSite is commonly called Twitter. And am I on Twitter? Yeah. Do I use it? No, not really. I am more active on Mastodon. So links down below, and it's also that to Mastodon there, which is a better type of Twitter. And I'm also on PixelFed, which is a better type of Instagram. And links are down below to that. And also on my channel page, it's up in the header, up tops. So it'll be over there in that corner. And so, I don't really say much on that page. But there's all of that. And I hope you return in the future. I will see you again next time. So, SKál. So say we all.